Minister for Customer Service in New South Wales. Thanks for your time. Talk us through this campaign, the targeting specifically, and the timing as well.
Well, thanks, Tom. Well, the campaign's about a positive message that we can get our freedoms back if we get our vaccinations up. And New South Wales is already leading the world when it comes to get our vaccination rates, and we want to give this positive message of hope to the people of our great state.
Which parts of the population are you most worried about? Because we had a huge surge. It's really encouraging the numbers that are signing up. Who isn't right now that you are targeting?
Oh, look, obviously we want everyone to get the jab that can get the jab, but the younger people in particular, you know, if you want to enjoy the freedoms that you're so used to, particularly with summer coming up, please go and get vaccinated. That's why a lot of the images that you see in the ads are about people going to the beach, people going and enjoy this wonderful lifestyle that we have here in New South Wales.
Let's do this, New South Wales.
So are you saying they're at the moment the most vaccine hesitant when it comes to not just access, some younger people have been waiting, but ultimately willing to get the jab?
Oh, no, I think it's a question of supply, because initially we obviously targeted the most vulnerable in our community and those that would have been most affected, that is the elderly, with limited vaccine supply. But with more and more vaccine supply coming on board, both in terms of Pfizer and pretty much as you need in terms of AstraZeneca, and I just had my second AstraZeneca dose this morning, you know, as much as you can, get out there. And we know that the younger people were the last in the queue, as it were.
Right, so what about the hesitant element then? You're pretty far progressed in the vaccine rollout overall, at least in terms of first dose. You must be getting some idea on the types of groups reluctant to get it for now. Who are they?
Basically, on the surveys that we've done, it's about 10% of the population don't want the vaccine, but 90% through various stages either want or will get the vaccine. It was just a question of waiting for the supply to come through. The supply is here now, particularly in terms of AstraZeneca, plenty of AstraZeneca around, and Pfizer is coming through in big numbers, particularly through the months of September and October. So we're encouraging people, please get vaccinated right now so you can help the state open up, get the economy going again, enjoy the freedoms that we're so accustomed to.
Was there any thought to specifically targeting the very small number out there trying to stir up vaccine hesitancy via, you know, outright anti-vaxxerism? Was there a thought to that? I mean, your own case of Bell's palsy and people wrongly linking that to your vaccine jab, this was the sort of thing people are seizing on. Did you look at something specifically to counter that type of messaging?
Oh, you're always going to get a small percentage of the population, not just here in New South Wales, but around the world, that will be against the vaccine rollout. And you're never going to change those views. And that's fair enough. That's their view. They're entitled to it. But we know that 90% of people in New South Wales either have or will want to get the vaccine. And if we focus on that number, then we can open up as soon as we can.
We've got new rules coming in, some small freedoms for vaccinated people, but only vaccinated people. How is that going to be policed?
Well, in terms of vaccinated people, we're working with the federal government in relation to displaying your vaccination certificate on your Service New South Wales app, and other states are doing the same in relation to their respective apps. Obviously, we're the most advanced in terms of digital maturity, I think, in New South Wales, I think it's fair to say. So we'll try and take a lead there to show how it can be done and hopefully have something in the market in pilot very soon.
In pilots, not exactly on top of it, given this is happening, I think on September 13. Is it going to be ready on that day?
Oh, well, every digital product that you roll out, you need to pilot out, you need to trial out. We've done the same in relation to the digital driver's licence. We did the same with the QR codes. We've done the same with Dine Discover. It's just a responsible thing to do. We will get a micro pilot out in the market soon, see how that goes before we can open up to broader market adoption.
Right, but on the day that people get these freedoms, will that be up and running or is it going to lag that September 13 date?
Well, again, we're working with the federal government in relation to how we can harmonise that experience. If we can get it up and running by then, great. If not, people can still demonstrate their vaccination certificate on their Medicare app. You know, I've just downloaded mine. I've got it onto my, I put it onto my Apple Wallet, so it's easy to show. What we're doing through Service New South Wales, though, is just to make it a lot more convenient and easier. That's all. But it's not like you can't show it.
We're talking about the positive side of vaccines and including your message today. You're also approaching this on a mandatory sense, though, for example, with teachers. What has Cabinet discussed in terms of what will happen to teachers that don't get the mandatory jab?
Well, again, we're working through these issues now, but we've indicated to teachers already that, you know, this is a prerequisite. It's most important that you get the jab, and the Minister for Education has put some timelines around that. And to her credit,
so they can't teach after that point.
Well, that's the indication from the Minister for Education, and to her credit, she's gone out there with the Federation. They've done surveys in relation to the overall position in relation to vaccines, and overwhelmingly, teachers believe that getting the vaccine is the right thing to do, not just by themselves, their pupils, the broader community. You know, and I just want to thank the Teachers Federation and the Minister for Education for their leadership on this.
And we hope that gets a very positive uptake. But just finally and briefly, if they don't have the jab by the dates, they don't teach. It's that simple?
Sorry, can you repeat that, Tom?
If the teachers aren't vaccinated by the timelines that are set out, simply put, they won't be teaching.
Well, there'll be obviously other places that they can go to in terms of their career. You know, people can. They don't have to be teaching in front of students. They could be. There'd be other positions. I've got no doubt. But you know, generally speaking, we're saying that we've got to open up, and vaccination is the pathway forward.
Victor Dominello, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Cheers.